something special for the WGGGMBUCC. It's a lyrical sculpture in the sand that I carve. This is Flash on the mic, now on the Algarve. From 40 to 60, we are on the attack. If I can just get some vitamin I from my back. Foot on the line, yeah, I'm ready to go. Or did I just pull a muscle? Hold on for a moment. Play it cool, just act like I'm young. Got flicks on my wrist and lyrics on my tongue. 20 more, 10 more years left to go. Tricks from the past and a buttery flow. A little slow off the start, I like to call my speed brisk. The sunshine glints off my slow-moving disc. You know how it goes with the sand between my toes. I got none of the pivots, but all the throws. Yeah, I got some dodgy knees. Disc in my hand and the sun in the sky. My dad bod goes jiggle and my hucks they fly. The spirits are rising like a disc on the breeze, going miles out of bounds to the Portuguese seas. I played a point, yeah, I need a sub and a good long soak in an XL tub. Don't need to run anymore, I'm one of 14 handlers. Happy Gilmore this disc like we're all Adam Sandlers. I'm slow off the start, I like to call it brisk. The sunshine glints on my slow-moving disc. You know how it goes with the sand between my toes. We got none of the pivots, but all the throws. Alright, let's finish this off. My 6'2" still works in the bar. I can see from miles. Got drinks on my radar. Portimao party is the place we flee for the friends we see and these great memories. Yeah, I feel the spirit as I pull every sinew. Shatter my knees, yet we're gonna continue. Take this hand, better yet carry me from the beach to the bar, better yet to the sea. I'm slow off the start. I like to call my speed brisk. The sunshine glints off my slow-moving disc. You know how it goes with the sand between our toes. We got none of the pivots, but all of the throws.
It is finals day, and we're in one here. Gold medal on the line. Chickenpox taking on Natsuo. Two American teams here on the beach, Villasimius, Sardinia, at the WGGMBUCC, the greatest acronym in the wide world of sports. Great Grandmasters Beach Club World Championships. I'm Stefan Rapazzo alongside the Doc, John Doherty. How you doing, Doc?
Looking forward to this one now. We've already seen a couple of matchups with two US times, and every one of them so far has gone to Universe. I don't know if this one can possibly live up to the last game we had yesterday. We were saying would we like it the same, and we were saying we would. It was a bit crazy, the semi. There was a lot of talking about it afterwards, and maybe we want the same thing here, or the viewers at home hopefully do, but maybe the spirit directors probably won't. But everyone seemed okay after the game. I heard some more stories afterwards, and we could talk a bit more about it during the game depending on how this one goes. But again, no reason this one couldn't be game of the day after a day of unbelievable games.
Yeah, you've got that right. Yesterday was an absolute blockbuster between Spangled and Natsuo. Chickenpox, on the other hand, got through Finland with relative ease in comparison anyhow. Got a much tidier scoreline. Chickenpox were spoiled the party for Spangled by coming back and beating them with 4 in a row and stealing their side of the bracket and setting up that semi as a semi rather than a final. So if Chickenpox can spoil there and be one better, that's all it took for Natsuo to knock out Spangled, is be one better as well, and that sets up a heck of a clash here.
We start with a fantastic pull there as it rolls out the back and rolls through the legs of a spectator to the cheers of the sideline. So
nutmeg.
That's what they were all saying. Goal, 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 goal.
So Kwok, who was potentially the player of the game yesterday, had some huge moments.
We hear already about we need a player line from the sideline.
Opens things up and just bombs it deep. Fourth. Takes big meters on the first throw of the game. Tried to force it into Coral. And we've got a call.
Here we go. I think this one a bit justified. It was a close one. And it's quickly uncontested.
There it is. Oh, I mean, tough one.
They've already resolved it anyway, so I presume it was all good. A great deep shot there. Get things going.
Bag in play. Corral leads and hits Snow. Bid by fourth and just a bit too far.
getting the drama here early, just out of reach. Great technique on the layout, but not able to reach that one.
Yeah, Forth not shy to check the body at all, but that throw too far even for the flying Brit, who is very much a part of the U.S. scene and country. Pox with the disc. Deaver goes to Ruiz, and some steady hands for Strunk. Ruiz gets big meters for Melanie Deaver. Back to Ruiz. Leads upfield, Deaver. Goes around to Ruiz. Ruiz wanted to go straight away. Looks back to the middle. Offhand to Deaver. Not in, but on the line. And Deaver waiting, swiping, now looking back, and taken away by Don Tom.
Catch block.
Kwok picks up. Carell goes to Kunze. Second chance to hold. Kunze goes over. Carell to Kwok. Don Tom's off and running, so is Katie Forth. Forth picks up, now to Tom. And they get away with it and go all the way back the other way.
Well, if that first point is anything to go by, this could be a fantastic game. A bit of everything there. Layout bids missing in the end zone. Layout catch blocks in front of the end zone. Almost blocked on the way through. Good composure by some of the throws there as well. They got a bit of a head start on the defense, and they took advantage of it. And two players chasing this one down. You can see here they had their option of who wanted to catch it, and I like the decision to leave that there and continue on into the end zone so Ford can throw it to the receiver in the end for the goal.
Wild first point. 2 turns. A dirty hold, as they call them.
We get a chance here to look, and we've had a couple of games so far that started almost perfect. This one not the perfect start. We're not going to have a clean game.
Already established. Well, I mean, it could still go to serve, but no clean hold runs.
Lovely pull there. Pins them in the corner.
That is a peach of a pull, lands and rolls, but doesn't go out. And Kritzinger goes to Cashin. Now Will Deaver comes under. Deaver to Cashin. Cashin eyes upfield, back to Deaver. Deaver inside, McDowell. Cashin. Back to McDowell. We've got a call on the field. Klaus is on the ground. And is it a push off there? I'm not sure, but Klaus goes down
going to have
quite heavily after his impact with Masket.
Didn't seem like a flop anyway. It seemed like he had to go down after that one. I'm not sure. Contested. I mean, I don't know if it makes much difference whether they can contest this one or not, given the way it's playing.
Just about ready. Back into play. McDowell goes to the far sideline. Deaver to McDowell. Back and forth. Now Masket. Sideline has to back up to give some room there, and all sorts of bouncing around by Klaus on the mark, but he does get it through to McDowell. Now Deaver in the backfield. Deaver leads. McDowell accepts. And now Masket comes under. Deaver gives an option, can't take it right away. Back to center, cashing around. McDowell there on the doorstep. Fires, hits, and Kritzinger there to collect 19 passes of patience for Chickenpox to put in the score.
Yeah, they did a great job there maintaining that and scoring. And as weird as it is to say, I almost feel, despite that being a clean one, I almost feel that maybe the Natsuo O-line feels that they might be doing a little cleaner with theirs. There seemed to be a little bit more pressure on the Chickenpox offense there, but I mean, they dealt with it well. They didn't turn, and in the end, they popped in that last score relatively easy. I know it was maybe a diving catch, but the space was there. And again, good start. Both teams scoring their O. Looks tight, as we expected. I mean, we can't expect this to be a game where one team pulls away. I would be very surprised if that was to happen.
1-1, 6.5 minutes in, so they've ground out the first two. Multiple turnovers on the first. A clean hold, but a hard-fought clean hold on the second. I think Chickenpox will have
That was close.
a lot more players going both ways, and
I think that one was on the line.
Natsuo
I think it was on the line, so
will
that'd be out.
here's another look. Yeah, I mean, I thought on the line too. You did see a little sand cloud, so it might have been before, but not conclusive. Natsuo will play their O-line, D-line a bit more and just crossover players in big moments after timeouts before.
That seems like a really far walk up the field, but nobody seems to worry. It looks, when you realize how big a gain it is by a brick here, you really realize how much you'll get punished.
Fourth collects now Kwok. Kwok goes around to fourth. Fourth leans into the mark. Now looking to center. Mickael gets just open enough, gives the backhand too far in front for Kunze, and Chickenpox will have a break chance.
Yeah, you could see there the pressure. I thought there was a call for a second, but no, the players just taking a moment to figure out and gather their breath. I think the Chickenpox defense there was a little bit better than in the last one. Obviously, I know they got the turn in the last one, but they looked a bit more on the offense in this point. And let's see if they can get the break now. They are playing slightly downwind now. It's a slight wind, but it does favour the team with the disc right now.
Melanie Deaver goes to ground to collect. Now picks up for Ruiz. The throw over the shoulder. Donofrio. And then just in for Ruiz again. Back corner available. And Stephanie Schlosser. And we've got the first break of the game.
Yeah, 2 defensive points played by the Chickenpox D-line, and they've gotten a turn on both ones. This time they're able to convert on it. Good start for them, and the Natsuo O-line's going to have a little maybe chat. I know I said their first point where they got turned and then got it back looked pretty good, but this one they just looked like they were in a bit more trouble. So defense going to have to get some credit there. Very tight, intense defense, and a good offensive passage of play by them after it to make sure they convert the break.
First advantage of the game given the way of Chickenpox. For all of you wondering about the rosters, good morning to the chat. Beaner's in there, but wondering about the rosters, WGGMBUCC.org. You can go follow all the live scoring. But this one gone deep, Katzenbach. Will he have a chance? I don't think so. The throw, too much on it from Scullion.
Yeah, he's looking like he was getting ready to make the lunge for that, but just a bit too far out of reach. And he's been really great on all the streams we've seen him so far. I thought for a minute he was going to make an absolutely monstrous play and pull that in, but decides it's not worth throwing the body for that one when he knows it's out of reach.
So Appleyard gets going with Elliott. Appleyard again. The round for McDowell. McDowell fires inside. Elliott sticks out the long arm. Jamie Cashin back to Elliott, and now Boots. Middlesbrook.
Pick called. This is going to stay where it is. Defender just wants to catch up a little bit. going to say it should go back. I think the defender feels a bit unsure whether he thought he was close enough or not, and he's decided he's going to let him have it.
Johnny Hawk and Middlebrook continue the conversation. And it will be Middlebrook keeping the disc. Looking to Elliott, indeed he is, but can't find it. Gets a nice throw for McDowell. Appleyard there, bit on the hip by Scullion. Leads in for Middlebrook, and that is a second break in a row, making it 3-1 on a 3-goal run as Chickenpox asserting early game dominance here.
Yeah, their offense on the disc is looking really good on both sides, whether it's their O-line or their D-line. They're getting free now, and the defense there was putting on some good pressure. They forced one or two maybe somewhat unorthodox throws, forcing Chickenpox to look off their dump, which is at least a small positive. But like you said, they've gotten broken twice in a row now, and we see a player down injured on that one from the Natsuo. A couple of players around. Seems a bit concerning.
That's Johnny Hawk. Unable to get to his feet quite yet. He's helped up, and that's good news by Mordock. Coming off gingerly, but of his own volition. We'll hope that he's able to put himself back in the game for his sake and that of Natsuo.
Seems like it was an injury with the foot. You can see it from here. Does look a little bit sore. Yeah, it was the one I was looking at on him, and I think that might take a few minutes. Hopefully, it's going to be okay. Bit of a annoying one to have a toe injuries
on the beach. Quack and Tom exchange. Katie Forth was almost ready for a chest bump, then sends deep. Carell gets stepped in front of, and another turnover the way of Chickenpox. Great defense to take that away by Elliott, and it's Deaver on the far side. Deaver to Ruiz. Ruiz winds up a backhand. Strunk goes inside. It's D'Onofrio, and then in the corner. And they are just on a roll right now. Schlosser cashes in 4 in a row. 3 of them breaks. Natsuo staying out there. No timeout called.
Yeah, I think they're going to. I think they have to take a timeout now. I realized on that one it was just slightly underthrown. Maybe they didn't factor in that there is a breeze, and it's one of those where you don't really notice it until you throw it and the wind takes. And I think that was a good example of one of those where the hook just came up too short. And other than their semi-final yesterday, I mean, they're usually coming up with those and they're getting away with it. But against a team like this that they're up against, they're not going to get it. And you know, that's three breaks in a row now, I think. And I mean,
and stingy breaks where, you know, they've been given away in multiple manners, but the first point of the game, multiple turns. After that, every turn has been punished. Yeah, with you know, you must say a very scintillating play. They move it through all the hands, and they're not overdoing it, not shy of the deep shot, but not sticking with the deep shot. Ledonne had a great semi. She's going to need to get her name imprinted on this game, as will many other Houstonites, to turn the tides here, especially at not calling the timeout right now. Ledonne goes for Scullion. That will work. And that is one way to imprint, except for the fact that there was a pick.
Yeah, I think what it was number 7, Beach. It looked like she actually stopped, and I think she was trying to pull up on a cut. It looked like she made what I essentially would consider the signal. I think for a pick, but was basically trying to stop the play. I'm not trying to stop the play, but saying, "Oh, I'm just holding up," like the hold up meme, and they play on. But it didn't affect the play, so thankfully that one's going to stand, because I don't think she was trying to stop the play, but it caused a bit of confusion off the disc, but not where it mattered, which is where the deep shot went.
A huge hold for Natsuo on the Ledone Huck. But they're going to need to start the break train going. We know there's only one way to get that going, is to get a hold, get your defense on the field. But this chickenpox attack, it's the fastest moving attack, I think. They play the small ball. They've got a motion kind of offense. They really, between Deaver and Ruiz, they are just, every other throw is, every fourth throw or third throw is going through one of those two hands. And everybody else very capable of contributing and feeding the machine.
Yeah, and I think the one advantage here maybe to Natsuo is that the thing that's impressed me most this weekend with them has been their defensive pressure to make plays. So we haven't seen the chickenpox O-line out there in a while, so I do sense that Natsuo are going to be, they're the kind of team where I think they're going to get broken a little, but I trust that their D-line will get some breaks in this game. And
Grant Cashin bringing the disc to the brick mark. And we're underway. Cashin leads, Deaver's there. Deaver fires Ruiz there in the corner. Now Deaver runs right into it, and as quick as you know it, they're on the doorstep. Deaver fakes, gives Ruiz there, and as per expectation, those three names, Ruiz, Deaver, and Cashin, dominate the possession, and chickenpox walk one in scintillating fashion.
Yeah, it was like watching a ping pong ball being hit by a wooden bat there with some of those cuts, and how the defender was chasing around trying to catch him there. I mean, I think the thrower did a good job not to throw at the wrong time and just give his receiver enough time to get free. Would have been very, very difficult for the defender to stop that cut. He did an okay job on the first one or two, but like you said, a couple of dominant players there getting involved on the disc, very hard to stop it.
Will Deaver, there he is, got that assist. He is one of the big names in U.S. Ultimate as an ex-player, but also the managing director for competition and national teams at USA Ultimate.
As we said, it's a mouthful, but sounds important.
Yeah, he is an important man. He was at the U.S. Open, kind of running the show as a tournament director there. But does so much for the sport and so much for his team today too. Kwok goes back to Mickael. Mickael leads. Don Tom hits his knees. Kwok leading upfield, not taken. Now Tom turns back to Mickael. Mickael inside. Kwok down on one knee. Goes around. Great throw to hit Don Tom. And another hold. Another chance for the Houston defense to see if they can jam up this superpower O-line that chickenpox keeps putting out.
Yeah, Kwok there with a nice assist. He had a bit of a throw like that yesterday that ended up being a turn where I thought he wound up to make the throw. Defender maybe in the way, blocks it, and then he follows through with almost like a half a pivot or half a wind up on the next one, and that time he waits it out nicely, and not much the defender could do there on that one. He thought he stopped the first one. Again, much needed. I think that might be their first clean possession.
There's Don Tom.
He's been one of the best players, definitely one of the fastest players on the field anyway. And again, for Natsuo, an important one just to slot one in without the turn. And again, they're going to get a chance on defense here, and I do think they'll get some break chances, but the last point was maybe the furthest they've looked from getting that so far, as the chickenpox offense seems to actually just been getting better as the game goes on.
And the pull lands in. Chicken pox will pick up. And it's Krutzinger. Uh-oh, and they do get that. I thought fourth might have had a lane, but couldn't quite get there. Deep cuts going while Ruiz assesses now Masket to Krutzinger. Krutzinger fakes the backhand. Now gets an up line cut. Ruiz in front of Scullion the other way. There's a bid there, just a bit late. Masket up with the disc to Cashin. Cashin, backhand, end zone hits. Melody Deaver for the goal, and this offense just keeps on churning.
Yeah, that was great offense there under really intense pressure there. I thought multiple times I was thinking the defender was just half a step away, and I think potentially if this was grass instead of beach, a couple of those bids would have come, but Chicken Pack's offense just a bit too good for the really good defense. Sometimes it's the way I go. I've said it a few times this week. You can do everything you want on defense, but sometimes the offense just gets the job done, and there wasn't much you could do about it. And I think that was a good example of that there, where the defense was good, but the offense was just too good.
6-3. That run of 3 breaks, the difference. Trading ever since. And Natsuo are going to have to start finding breaks somewhere. But that offense is looking very tidy for Chickenpox.
Yeah, and again, a chance here for Chickenpox to take half. Pull looks like it's going to pin them near the back of their own end zone. What a time to pull like that.
Kwak to Tom to Lidone. Riddle comes under hard, and the deep shot for Beach. Beach gets there, but not in. Resets the foot. No chance to isolate Tom, so it goes back to Kwak. Kwak leads high. Riddle is a mountain, and the first one there. Natsuo's offense is tidying up since their lapse at the start of the game.
Yeah, such a lovely assist there. We had a perfect angle to see that. You can just see it going out into the space. At first I wasn't sure who it was to, and then you just see how easy he makes it look. And a great deep cut there by Beach. Gets a chance, doesn't see any strikes upfield, looks it back, and you can see this cut from one side of the field to the other. Just perfect throw, easy. And Natsuo gonna want to try and get a break here before half, because a 7-4 half would be a bit of a tricky one.
Especially with Chicken Pack starting on 0 in the second half.
Exactly. So I think, again, I believe they can get a run of breaks, but I don't know necessarily if it matters too much when it comes, but getting one here,
one in the first half, just before a break, before another chat, before another reset, would be massive if they are to be able to turn the tides.
Pull goes up.
So halftime will be at 7 no matter what. Krutzinger leads forward to Ruiz. Ruiz back to Krutzinger, and Deaver puts 2 hands on it. Deaver sends the deep, and it is well read by Ruiz. Scullion thought he had a line on it, and Ruiz had the perfect read to watch that into the bread basket. Will Deaver, Ruiz, and Chickenpox take half. 7-4. They're going to come out on 0.
Yeah, defender there just got the wrong read on it. Maybe just sensed that we've been trying so hard to get a blocker. Maybe just worried about the defender behind him being able to go up over him and get it. He wanted to go and attack that first, and maybe sometimes you have a bit too much time to think about it, or the wind is a bit different, and it just caught him out and led to an easy score. I think that was their best chance to get a turn in a while, and unfortunate for them that they couldn't get it, but Chickenpox going to be happy to take that one and take half.
So no first half breaks for Natsuo. They're going to have a handful to get if they're going to turn the tides. Stay locked on and find out what happens in second half.
I'm Steph Pazzo, and I must eat.
sometimes commentator, sometimes food eater.
On my ultimate travels in 2023, I sampled culinary classics from all across Europe,
Oh, wow.
guided by some of your favorite ultimate players.
That's the Dutch hospitality for you right there.
I'll give you an insight into the secret spots that only the locals know of.
Are these the best schnitzels in Vienna?
Yes, of course.
Yes, of course.
Go find Steph Patso on YouTube. Like and subscribe and follow the European Ultimate Must Eat series.
Oh my goodness. That is unbelievable. And created the tip and made for it.
That was absolutely incredible.
We live in a world where everything can be referenced online. Imagine if the greatest moments in our sport were never filmed. Eurodisc continues to do what it takes to make free-to-watch live streams a reality. Let's leave nothing to the imagination. We'll consume the action live, and we'll support those that help to make it happen. If it wasn't streamed, it didn't happen. Eurodisc.
What a grab! Oh my God! Somehow they do it!
Always on the move? You can keep up to date with ULTI.TV on all of our social media channels. Like, follow, subscribe, share us with a friend, or send us a message just to say hey. Thank you for supporting us in our mission to grow Ultimate everywhere.
(7-4) Chickenpox on pace to become world champions of the Great Grandmasters division here on Beach, unless Natsuo can pull the rabbit out of the hat. I'm Stefan Rapazzo alongside John Dock. The action's on your screen, and we're more than happy to be here in Sardinia bringing it to you. Doc, first half thoughts?
I think it's just been a case of the Chickenpox O-line's just been impossible to get the disc off, even when there's been some good defensive pressure. We've only seen them once so far, and I remember as soon as I saw them earlier in the week, I thought they were definite contenders to win it. I did favour Natsuo coming into this, but perhaps the fact that I saw them 3 times getting the job done just made me kind of get more familiar with how they play and what they're able to do. But we've only seen one game where they played against an American team of this level, and that game was close and they came back. So, and this team also beat that team, so realistically there should be almost nothing between them. But at the moment it just seems that the inability to get turns off the Chickenpox O-line seems to be the issue, and the problem with the second half is they're going to have to do it multiple times and then convert it. And this slow sauntering walk back is just going to take a couple more seconds off the clock. Wouldn't be surprised if the disc fell out of his hand once or twice on the way up. Just joking, but it's, you can see here when you watch it on Beach, it really is a punishment to throw a brick when you could have got it inbounds. He's walking about halfway to the scoring end zone from where the back of the end zone was, so you get punished a little bit on grass, you get crucified on Beach for throwing bricks.
Cashin goes to Krutzinger. Back to Cashin in the middle of the field. Ruiz comes under and back to Krutzinger on the far sideline. High stall count. Krutzinger just puts it. And there's a D and the first chance to break of the game for Natsuo.
Yeah, and I think Chickenpox actually had 2 players open. It was just the early stall pressure generated that turn.
They done they, and that's taken right back. Ruiz busts the lane, leads for Deaver, and that break chance squandered quicker than you can blink.
Yeah, I think the main thing there, you can just see the absolute devastation on the face of some of the Natsuo players after that. They finally get their chance and they give it straight back. Massive, massive block. Chickenpox not wasting any time getting it back and slotting it in, and that one's a bit of a killer. Like, if they had just scored the O straight away, it wouldn't have been so bad, but to get your chance and then concede, it almost feels like you've conceded 2 there. He has 2 goals and 2 assists already this game. And a block. I think he got the block on that one. Natsuo now in a given the way this game is going, it's starting to feel like a situation where they actually have to score this offensive point. 8-4, not insurmountable. We've seen them come back yesterday, but coming back from 5 points down is another thing.
Clock. And that one is busted up by Carell. I'm not sure it was intended for him, but he had no option but to put the hands up. And Elliott turns and goes to Schlosser. Back to Elliott. Leads to the corner, and Deaver's there, and Chickenpox get another break. They cannot put a foot wrong right now.
Yeah, they're just completely in control here. 5-point lead. Kind of almost a bit lost for words. I really didn't expect one team to just come out and run away with this, like we're kind of seeing right now. But Chickenpox just playing near perfect offense for the majority of this game, and being so difficult as well. It's not just their O-line, it's their defensive offense. And I think for Natsuo, it's just a case of, yes, there's been some decent defense, but I think they're going to be a bit frustrated. They've kind of just given the disc away, and they're not just being given it back. And again, both these teams have already played against Spangled, so it's not like this is the first time they're facing teams of this level. So I think it's just a case of just one team just a bit more, just come into the game a little bit more focused. And when you get in this situation, then you start stressing a small bit more on, if you're in Natsuo's position, where you feel like every chance you get, there's just that extra bit of pressure on it. And Chickenpox here playing with absolutely no fear or frustrations or worries right now. They're in complete control, and that only suggests that the margin between these teams might get bigger rather than closer.
The lead from the spot to Skellion. Riddle leads and overdoes it. No chance for Tom.
Yeah, I think that throw there kind of summarizes the problem Natsuo are having, just trying to rush the score.
Elliott to D'Onofrio. McDowell leads, and Riddle knows that he
Uncontested
fouled.
foul, picks him up.
Middlebrook.
I think he did his best to try and get around him there. He is a big man.
He is a unit. You wouldn't want to, Middlebrook's a big dude. And he's just being dwarfed by the size of Riddle. That one led and caught by Elliott. Elliott testing options, and a stoppage because of a pick will slow things down.
Possible timeout call, I think, maybe. Looks like they were agreeing on what to saw, so I think I think it's a timeout.
And with that, we're going to take a break and be back with more action from the final here at WGGMBUCC.
Always on the move? You can keep up to date with ULTI.TV on all of our social media channels. Like, follow, subscribe, share us with a friend, or send us a message just to say hey. Thank you for supporting us in our mission to grow Ultimate everywhere.
Oh my goodness. That is unbelievable. And created the tip and made good.
That was absolutely incredible.
9-4 chicken pox over Natsuo. It has been one-sided as can be. Look at those break chances, 6-1. Clean holds are actually not too far off, but turns 7-2. It has been all chicken pox here. They are as contagious as they sound as far as forward momentum goes. Elliott goes around. Jamie Cashin is free, and that adds another 10-4 is the score. This is a mountain,
Something.
twice the size of Everest now, but that's not a goal yet, sorry.
Yeah.
What was the call? It was
There must have been something.
Ledonne made the call. She was meant to be covering Cashin.
Must have been something very early in the stall because there was nobody near her. She's retracting and going to give the goal.
That is a goal. Retracted emotion, re-delivered emotion. And chickenpox are just working everything out there right now.
Yeah, and again, I mean,
Yeah, like
6 points down. I mean, realistically, I don't see much changing now at this stage, and it's a bit unfortunate that perhaps this ended up being the way it went, because I do know there's a version of this Natsuo team that's capable of coming out here and having this a much better game, and they've been so good all week, is why I thought maybe they were going to win it. That I guess sometimes it's just hard to be so consistent, and sometimes you just come out and it's not your day, and it seems maybe it could be a bit there, and maybe some form of like mental fatigue coming in from the game yesterday or something. But take nothing away from chicken packs here, they've just been insanely good this game. And again, we've had so many good games all week. It's a bit of a shame that the bronze and gold medals have been so one-sided, but let's not let it take away anything yet from how good the rest of this week has been and all the streams. And you know, let's hope that Natsuo can get a bit of a run going here. I mean, we'd like to see them keep the heads up and get a couple of points back. Maybe chicken packs start to panic then, but at the moment it doesn't seem like anything's going to change.
Don Tom to Scullion. That works. But even a second throw is gummed up. Now they go deep for Kwok. Will it come back in? It stays in. Kwok gets it. And Houston make it 5. The holds are just a minor part of all this. They're going to need those holds to turn into breaks. But they do the job once again for the first time in 6 points, 5 points since they've even had a hold.
Yeah, and again, I do think the Natsuo strength from this weekend has been their ability to put on defensive pressure. So just getting the offensive points. If they can score every offensive point from here on out, there's a tiny chance. I mean, it's 5 points. It's a big ask, but I mean, if there's a team that I've seen make enough plays, they're probably the only one in this week that I've seen that could be 5 down in this situation and have any chance. So I'm still going to give them a chance in this, but I don't think time is going to be the factor. They're just going to have to get a massive run of breaks, and it kind of has to start now.
Yeah, it really does. Cashin goes to Kreuzinger and then over to Deaver. All those names have been sensational through this game, as has Ruiz, who comes under for an open look. Ruiz and Deaver exchange before Klaus gets to the assignment. Now over to Kreuzinger. Kreuzinger pivots and goes back to Ruiz. Ruiz under. Cashin leads for quarter. Deaver's there. Another goal. 11-5. 2 away, 6 ahead. And Pox looking like they are in cruise control.
Yeah, they're just looking unstoppable in offense there, and you can see the sideline from Natsuo just almost throwing their kind of hands out, wondering what's going on. I could hear shouts of no around there as we see 2 rounds being thrown in a row. And you know, it's just one of those. Sometimes you just get into a situation like this, and you're almost just wishing the game could end in some ways. I'm not saying that's the situation from them here, but
I understand. We've many of us been there for sure. I've certainly been in situations the same. Like, how did this happen? And make it be over. You want to have that fight. You want to be able to, let's break this down 1 point at a time. How can we reset the mentality? All of these practices that so many coach and practice to get yourselves out of these situations, but it's always harder to put into practice than it is in theory and concept in these tumultuous moments. Tom and McCall goes deep. Scullion, no, he had come back, and as fast as he is, there's no way he can come back. And another break chance for Pox. Elliott walks it to the line. Elliott to Mascot. He goes back to Elliott. Jamie Cashin coughs one up, and Scullion, he goes and hits, but not in. McCall to fourth, and they get a hold. That break, I mean, right now it's still very little to make me believe that there's a chance. That hold is the absolute minimum for the game to just be naturally extended.
Yeah, I think the only reason you can say that is because, at least in that point, the Chickenbacks offense turned over, which is what you need them to do. You hear the shout for 5 minutes left. It's not going to make probably a big difference, but again, they got to get the break now. I would say impossible if it goes 12-6. You see some adjustments on the line, and again, they got to go for it. Time almost up, and again, last game of the day, nothing to lose. They got a couple of players that are going to have flights after this game. We moved the final forward a little bit. They're not going to want to go home like this. They're going to want to at least go home on a bit of a positive, get it back a bit closer, and say, hey, look, we didn't get the start we wanted, but we finished strong. And sometimes you can at least go away with your head held high if you finish strong. So I imagine that's what they want. They don't want to finish this week feeling down on themselves. They want to finish saying, hey, look, didn't get the start we wanted, but we finished well. So let's at least be happy about that. Fantastic pull to get it going.
Excellent. Cash into Kreuzinger. And Deaver's still able to get separation for the ensuing throw. Kreuzinger leads. McDowell comes under. Stall count mounting, and around to Kreuzinger. Deaver turns and looks eyes upfield. Still upfield, hits McDowell in the middle, and then on the move, Deaver wide open, throws the upside down backhand, and Kreuzinger collects. They cannot put a foot wrong. They're one away from being world champions and doubling up their opposition from Houston.
I mean, when you look at this throw here, it shows the confidence they're playing with. And as funny as it sounded, I think it was just maybe a scuba. I thought it would look like an upside down backhand at first. But I was going to say it's actually maybe an easy. If you're a high level thrower, a scuba there might actually be easier than trying to throw that blade very quickly with the momentum he had. So maybe it looked flashy, but it just shows the range of throws they have, and just kind of maybe it sums up the game also. Just just, you know, sometimes the defense there probably just has their hands out, slapping their hips. Like, I mean, what can we do when they're able to pull this off? Game point.
Yeah, very much hanging in the balance now. It's Chickenpox game to be taken. It's 1 point at a time to extend, and this would be the easiest of them because they have a chance to hold to extend. Kwok to Tom. And back again. Don Tom to Kwok. Kwok sends deep. Riddle is there first and takes it down. The mountain of a man ensures this game goes 1 point longer. But now Natsuo will have to break their way to victory, as one more against will be the end.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to get a block off him there, but I mean, they got to 7. They've at least avoided being beaten by more than double the score of their opposition. So like you said, 1 point at a time. I think it's just kind of almost pride at this stage playing. You just want to try and get 1 or 2 breaks, just finish the weekend a bit more positive, because you could even see after that one, the little kind of half throwaway of the disc after, it was more of a just frustration in almost the whole game rather than happy to get the score. And you know, they're going to want to get a break here, finish. I'm not sure if they've got one yet. Chickenpox O-line has just been so good, and it wouldn't surprise me if they just went down here and just scored in a couple of passes and ended this game.
That one lands in and rolls well too. A great pull. Can they get their first break of the game? Ruiz to Elliott. Championship on the line. Elliott to Ruiz. He gets 2 hands on it. Not even up to his feet. He leads to Deaver. Deaver goes around. Ruiz to Elliott. Elliott leads into Masket. Masket overshoots, and there's a chance to break. But they can only get 1 with it.
Yeah, thrower there. I think the throw option was fine, and I think he had the receiver he wanted. And I'm not gonna question the throw option. Just needed a little more touch on it, and I think that would have been the game ender. But Natsuo going to get their chance here. Like we said, playing for pride here. They're going to want to get this one, and 1 point at a time.
Scullion. And a point block on the huck attempt. Ruiz dives in the lane and denies.
Yeah, and I understand he wanted to get it, but he could have pivoted again and still thrown it.
Elliott with the disc. Chance for glory. And they have got it. No, yes, they have indeed. Elliott to Ruiz. And that is a dominant victory for Chickenpox. 13-7. Steven Ruiz with 2 goals, 2 assists, and a block. Will Deaver with 3 assists and 2 goals. A awesome game for Chickenpox and the crew in white.
Yeah, it feels like Ruiz even probably got a couple more stats than that. I think we forgot he got that block at the end and actually scored the last point. So his stats are still being updated. Like, absolutely insane game out of him. Probably the most dominant performance of any player we've seen on the field this weekend. And Chickenpox, I mean, fantastic result. Absolutely came out here, blew away Natsuo. Natsuo probably just disappointed with the performance they played here. But again, I'm not sure actually if there was enough that they could have gotten a win on that, but you can see here just 10 turnovers from Natsuo and break chances again. Maybe the number's not completely lining up, but break chances 8 from 10 turnovers, close enough. You get the idea, and you see it the other way. Just so few turns, 4 turns is
Yeah,
it's pretty
stingy.
impressive in these conditions and against a team of the level of Natsuo's defense. So again, commiserations to Natsuo. They can be pretty happy they made the final this year. And I mean, you know, I hear the word great grandmasters, you start to think maybe you're going to see tons of grey hair and all that, but not with these players. I imagine you're probably going to see a lot of these players back again at the event next year, and hopefully I look forward to getting an opportunity to maybe come and do another event like this. It's been a fantastic week. Maybe the last 2 games weren't so amazing, but just a fantastic week and deserved winners. You can't question anything about that final performance.
Yeah, echo your sentiments. Incredible 4 days here in the southern tip of Sardinia. A big repetitive congratulations to Chickenpox. Commiserations to Houston, undefeated up until today. And we'll finish off with another look at these highlights as we give some thanks to tournament directors Sofia Pereira and her right-hand man, Patrick van de Valk. Of course, that is to the Bula managing staff. Tournament directors, Stefano and Limo, doing a bang-up job. To our ULTI.TV crew back home, and of course to Noah Brinkworth on the 1s and 2s, getting it done as a camera operator and producer, and so much more through trying conditions. John Dock alongside, and before him, John Greenfield, who jumped in for a game or two, but John Dock getting a whole nice tournament through on the mic. And for all those people, we thank you very much. For them, I've been Stefan Rapazzo. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll catch you all next time.
I'ma be the best damn lover you got. I wanna mess up your covers. I don't wanna meet your mother. Never ever ask me how I've been.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, Ultimate.
We were dancing